Welcome to the Transformation Institute's podcast. This podcast will break down what real change is and how we think is instrumental to that change. In a society that often looks sideways at individuals telling us how to think, we will reveal and expose a barrage of thought manipulations and mind programming being imposed upon us unaware daily. Each week, we'll explore the awareness, strategies, tools, and mindsets needed to recognize, survive, and thrive amidst change. We'll feature insightful interviews and conversations with knowledgeable individuals and share inspiring stories of average people who have navigated their journeys of transformation and sharing their hard-won wisdom and practical advice. Whether you're seeking a shift in career, relationships, or personal well-being, this podcast is your guide to unlocking your full potential and embracing the exciting possibilities that lie ahead. Join us as we embark on this transformative journey together. Here's our host, Omari, Jahi.
What's up, family? This is your boy. Well, I'm not your boy, I'm your man. Omari, Jahi. I'm the host for the Transformation Institute podcast for a change. And we're glad to be here again for this Thursday night. We welcome everybody that comes on and participates with us. We thank you all for being with us over the past 16, 17 weeks. We've been doing this, and we really think we are coming up with some good topics. We've been having some great conversations, and we hope you guys are, some of you guys are responding, and putting your input in, and we appreciate that. So without further ado, let's get started. I want to introduce our co-host. Please put your hands together. Where is she at? Oh, there she is right there. Put your hands together for Miss Brenda Robinson. She's here with us today. Yeah.
Hi. Hey.
All right, Miss Brenda, what's happening?
Hey, a whole lot of nothing and a whole lot of stuff.
I feel you, man. All right, y'all, put your hands together she's sitting in for Vanessa. I think Vanessa will be back next week. But she's been doing such a great job. She might take Vanessa's job. I don't know now. I don't know. We gonna see. But put your hands together for Miss Kim Mitchell. Me too, y'all. Me too.
Appreciate the opportunity to sit in for Vanessa. All I can say is, Vanessa, you better watch out, girl.
Yeah,
for that seat. I'm coming for that seat.
And last but not least, put your virtual hands together for my guy, Mr. William Birch.
Yeah, what up?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Hey, William Birch.
Kim, you coming for that number one spot, huh?
I'm gunning for it. She gunning,
woman. All right. Well, thank you all for being here, and thank you for being here as well, Kim. Sitting in for like 4 weeks, right? About a month.
Yeah, a month.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, our topic for tonight, you guys, we're going to be talking about selfish. Has the world really come to this? It's just. I was asleep last week, and this topic came to me. That's how I be coming up with these topics, just so y'all know.
Mm-hmm.
I be waking up and selfishness and all these different things be coming in my head, and I'll be looking at the world, and I'm like, man, people are just selfish, but because we've grown into a society where we define things for ourselves, to where now you can be selfish and you can just redefine it and call it, I'm just cautious,
Yeah, cautious.
I'm just cautious. We could just redefine it. And then if everybody else identifies being selfish as cautious, then I guess being selfish is cautious, because if the more people accept your definition of it, that's what it is.
So I guess the question is, how do you define selfish?
Right.
Well, there is a definition to selfishness. Selfish.
Yeah, I mean, the Webster Dictionary version
Right.
of it, but as an individual, how do you define
Right.
selfish?
Right.
Well, see, I don't think we as individuals are in a position to define something that we didn't create.
Well, yeah, we can, because if you call me selfish, I got a definition for what you're calling selfish, and you might not call it that, but if you call me selfish, I'm gonna tell you that I'm just this or that, and then somebody else has another definition.
So the question is, who are we to call someone selfish? How do we define selfish?
You're
Because I've been told plenty of times I'm selfish.
Well, again, there's a definition. See, when we were kids, we were given a dictionary, and that dictionary had words and definitions in it. Now, a lot of those words that we were being defined in the dictionary back then, we've redefined them today to fit us and how we feel. But the dictionary didn't disappear; it's still there.
Yeah.
And so if you went into the world, when we came into the world, if the definition of selfish, if the definition of being selfish was already here, then why don't we use that unless it paints us in a bad light? So we don't want to use that definition. We'll make our own definition of it.
And the word selfish is to deflect you at, or to portray you in a negative way. So it's like, if you don't go by or adhere to what people say as selfish, then you're selfish. Like, if you don't want to, just say, if you want to share your food, oh, you're selfish. I'm hungry.
I was just about to say, maybe I'm just hungry.
So why would you call me selfish?
Right. That's what I mean about defining it. Even though Webster defined it, who the hell? I mean, who is Webster?
Who the heck?
Who the heck is Webster? Forgive me, my Christian friends.
Who the heck is Webster?
But let me say what I saw. Maybe you guys had a different definition, but I found this saying lacking. It had a bunch of different things, and I found lacking consideration for others, concerned only with one's own personal profit or pleasure. Now it has some other stuff though. I saw this as selfish. I saw this. Okay. Anybody else got a different one?
Oh, you said you saw that definition as selfish?
I saw this for describing selfish from my perspective.
Yeah,
it had some other things. Webster had some other things that said.
So when you said, Brenda, when you said looking out for oneself, I look at that as self-preservation, because that's the first law of nature,
Right. That's why I said that it's different. That you could call me selfish if you want to, but if coming from our different perspectives, what you say, you see that as self-preservation. Some people said they see it as self-care, taking care of myself. I can't help nobody else if I don't take care of myself first. And somebody else might be looking at us saying, all she do is take care of herself. Well, I can't help you if I don't take care of me first.
But think about it though. When we get on an airplane, when they talk to us on the plane, the first thing they say is, if the thing drop out the ceiling, put it over yourself first. Don't put it over your kid, your loved one, anybody else first. Put it on yourself first, then help someone else. So, if you look at it from that perspective.
But I don't know. Well, I understand what you guys are talking about, because self-preservation is one thing. But I think the definition you said, Brenda, can you read that again?
Lacking consideration for others.
Okay, now, when you're on an airplane and the thing comes down and the instructions is to put it over your face first and then maybe help somebody else. Selfish would be, I would put it over my face and I'd sit back and cross my arms and put my head between my legs and I won't think about nobody else. See, that's selfish. In contrast to trying to put a mask on somebody else first, because I guess I don't know if it has something to do with gases that might get released, and that's why the thing comes down. You're supposed to put it over your face. But the thing is, you can't help nobody if you fall the hell out.
Right. That's why I guess it says do you first, right?
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? So I'm agreeing with that. You have to save yourself or preserve yourself first. But after preserving yourself, what is your thoughts then after that? Is it now, I've got my mask, they better get theirs?
I mean, there's a lot of people like that, though.
Yeah,
or you pray for them, you know.
I pray they get their damn mask. I got mine. You see what I'm saying? And you look at it, and you got a handicapped person sitting next to you. I hope somebody help that nigga.
Be like, damn shame what happened to my co-passenger.
That's not funny, Will.
Well, you know, the Bible talks about selfishness from the love standpoint. It even goes so far as to say that if you're not helping your brother, you don't seek your own good first, that you help your brothers. So you know, but a lot of people don't agree with biblical things, so right. that's out the window.
But that's a good segue into another form of selfishness, right?
Yeah.
What?
A couple of weeks back, we had a conversation, and Kim brought up the conversation about men making up for physical shortages with financial financial gain. I think that's selfish. I mean, because you putting the price on your pocketbook, and our job is to spread love, to love our brothers. You specifically said brothers, and so the brothers are being taxed for some love.
Yeah.
Hey.
Kim said, well, I mean, if the shoe fits.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
You see, she didn't give you no argument.
I gotta say about that. But on the biblical sense, did God say, I'm a selfish God, love no other but me? Didn't he say that?
Yes.
So he is, not you. You ain't supposed to be selfish.
Right. So I think in a lot of people, and that, to me, selfishness, when we're talking about taking care of ourselves, that plays into the mental health. And I think that's probably why a lot of people so jacked up mentally, because they're not taking care, they're not being selfish, meaning taking care of their health, looking out for their best interest. Because if you're all over the place, you're losing focus of what's really important here, and that is self, right? Like they call it self-help day, self-care day. I'm taking a mental health. Somebody say I'm taking a mental health day. I'm like, what is that?
Right.
And then I had to learn that, especially from work, that I'm taking a day for me. You know, I'm stressed out because they're all over the place. They're doing all other things. So I guess there's two ways you can look at selfish. You know, you're being selfish because you got to take care of yourself, or you're being selfish because you're just an evil person. You don't believe in sharing and taking care of others, even though you're in a good place.
Well, I think people, like I say, we wasn't born selfish. Nobody, I don't believe, came out the womb selfish.
Right, I think it was a learned behavior.
Yeah, kids are selfish as hell. They don't want to share their candy. They don't want to share nothing.
Oh gosh, these kids are rotten.
You know,
that's a whole nother story.
That's another topic. These kids are rotten.
Story there. But I mean, at some point, we were made or conditioned to feel like this. Being selfish is a feeling. It's an emotion, right?
Yes, just like love is an emotion.
You see what I'm saying? So after, you try to look out for people, sometimes people put themselves out, and be looking out for other people, and then you find out that the person that you was looking out for didn't even appreciate the fact that you went hungry to make sure they had something to eat, or the fact that, I took you home in my car and you didn't have no gas money. My gas is already on E. I took you all the way home. Then on the way home, I run out of gas. So I'm stranded. You see what I'm
saying?
saying?
They call somebody else to pick them up.
But left you stranded. So
see,
do you feel that
will make you not want to help nobody?
So is that what makes you selfish then, because of the way you
But
feel?
I was made that way. I was made that way. I wasn't like that at first.
So you're saying because of how, if you're nice and how it's reciprocated or how people treat you, this turns people into selfishness.
Sometimes.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes. Not all. Yeah. But
okay. What about the people or the kids who gets everything they ever wanted in life? They don't know what it is to share because everything is always given unto them. How can you teach people like that?
Too, spoiled.
So it's spoiled selfish.
No, but look at this. Look at how we are with when you got spoiled meat in your refrigerator. What you do with it?
Wash it out.
Wash it off.
Wash it off.
Wash it off. The thing I ain't gonna make sure when I come over your house, I ain't eating nothing.
Come on now, y'all know y'all wash it off.
No, that's deep.
No, Kill.
That's deep.
Nobody wash it off. They throw it in the garbage.
Okay, so what you do with a spoiled kid, though?
Well, no, my thing is, why would you want to spoil somebody when you understand that anything spoiled gets tossed to the side? So what we're saying is when we spoil our kids is that we don't want them to be successful.
Mm. No, I disagree.
Okay.
I think when we spoil our kids, we're really acting as rail guards, if you will, to keep them from committing the same mistakes that we've already experienced.
But they do. It's just worse.
No,
they don't care. They don't have no compassion. You must don't have kids.
I do, and I'm that guard. Well, I tell her like Jay-Z said, I did it, so you don't have to do it. So
right, but kids don't get it though,
because they're gonna do it anyway.
They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it.
I think some kids might get it, might not get it. I understand where you're coming from, but there are some that will learn from example, and they're going to be inquisitive. They're going to ask you why, what happened, and you got to be real with them and tell them what the stories are.
I mean, you try to teach, you install, because I know growing up, our parents said, especially because if you have more than one sibling, they said share, don't be selfish. If one don't have it, you make sure everybody has some. You take that one piece and you divide it among all your siblings or whoever else. So
but even the kid doesn't even do that though. The kid doesn't even really listen to that. I mean, at the end of the day, it seems to me that the word selfish has many colors, many shades of selfishness. Because we talked about a few right here. They come in different shades. What we can call self-care. Another person look at us and say that's selfish. You're taking care of yourself, but they don't see other things you do. Everybody doesn't know you. Everybody doesn't know that you have or where you come from. Because like Ty said earlier, sometimes because of something that happened in your life before, now you're right here. Now, and you also said this before we got on, that a person doesn't have to stay where you see them at. Like right now, I might see you there today, but years from now, you may have gone through some stuff that changed you. Because isn't this the podcast for change?
I listen to the
podcast. Yeah. Exactly. But
does that make you selfish though? Because you learned to think and move differently. Does that make you selfish? Like, how, like Brenda said, you might be in this position now, but later on when she sees you different, meaning you're not moving with the same people anymore. Mm-hmm. You change your thought process. So did that make you selfish? Because you realize, hey, I need to move my crowd. I need to move how I think now, how I associate with different people. Is that making you selfish?
Well,
because
you
now
don't let people
wised up.
define you, though. You don't let people define you, because if you know that you've changed, if you know that you used to be, or you could have been called selfish, but now you've done something differently in your life, and or you saw where you were not helping others, you don't allow anybody to define you. I mean, even if people call us selfish, I mean, I'm sure you've been called selfish, and you were standing on, like you said earlier, I was just hungry. I wasn't helping you because I didn't want to. I was eating first because I'm hungry. And you look like you ate already.
Right.
So it's different things.
Is it selfish when you take the big piece of chicken?
The biggest piece.
No,
So
you're helping the big girl.
The biggest piece of the chicken.
You're helping the big girl not eat as much so she can lose a little weight.
But now let me ask this question.
Mm-hmm.
If we were to ask ourselves,
okay,
am I selfish? How would you then draw a conclusion whether you were or not? I think each and every one of us will say, I'm not selfish.
I don't know about
I'll say that I can
I'm
be
selfish on certain things. I would say yes, I am.
Yeah, right. I'm selfish too. I'm selfish with time with my significant other. I'm selfish with the path to success. I'm selfish with financials. So I'm selfish. I own it. I'm selfish.
But Brenda, read that again, that definition, because that didn't fit that.
No,
lacking consideration.
Oh,
lacking consideration for others, concerned only with one's own personal profit or pleasure.
That's profit, it, right there. Profit or pleasure.
If you are if you're calling wanting to spend significant time with your significant other, if you call that selfish, then that would only be selfish based on the definition, based on the fact that that's all you want to do.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And it's only about you and that person, that significant other. You ain't got no friends, you ain't no associates, nothing. It's
you don't do anything else.
And I'm super selfish, and nobody can come over our house. She can't have no friends. You see what I'm saying?
That's controlling. That's
controlling.
Nah, that's not selfish.
The action, see, y'all, the action is controlling, but the how I'm feeling is selfish.
Right, the thought is selfish.
I'm selfish. And then the action and the controlling part would be from her definition. From her, he's being controlling. But from my perspective, I'm being selfish. You see what I'm saying? Right. So, but that's only if it's extreme. You know what I'm saying? Where you take it to the point to where I lock us and I get a bunker and we all locked up in the bunker and can't nobody get in, and nobody, just me and her, and we got food forever. We got air pumped in and everything.
That's what Will talking about. That's what Will does. Eddie Will.
hey, that's called self-preservation. Like
no, Will, Lord Jesus.
You see how good we are? You see how good we are at redefining? Kim
keeps spoiled meat.
Will keep
people controlled in an environment of selfishness. We're learning some stuff here today. We're learning. At least they're not selfish. They're letting us know where we stand.
Right. So if a bomb dropped, don't go to this side.
Right. We're not going on Kim house.
Hey.
Okay, but I don't know. I'm selfish. We can be selfish. I think all of us can be called selfish by somebody else. We might not think it, but yeah, sometimes you want what you want when you want it. Now, all of us do. But that doesn't mean that that's your whole makeup. So I guess that's what you were trying to say, Ty. Like you can do some selfish things, but that's not who we wholeheartedly is. I mean, because if we were, the four of us are on this podcast right now, why? I mean, if we were selfish and we don't care about anybody else hearing anything, not discussing things, sharing with, see, that already shows that we're not selfish individuals, but we can be selfish, like we'll say about some things. We just want to hold it to ourselves and do it our way. And people will talk about us and call us selfish. And we be walking around like, hey, I'm just doing my thing. I'm just being who I am,
So who are we to call someone selfish? It's like,
we will though. We will, because we're
but I'm saying, who are we as individuals to call someone selfish? I mean,
maybe we won't do it after this podcast is over. Maybe we
all have selfish ways.
Is it selfish to spend $50 on a date, Kim?
Yeah, he gonna keep on.
$50.
You can't come back at Kim.
I just want to know, is it selfish? Like,
where you going with that?
Remember you said, you can't go
$300 minimum.
Where?
What you mean where? Okay, you know what? That's a different topic. That's not today. That's not today. Don't come for me. $50 talking about some a date. Nah, partner.
Okay, Will, I want to get this in real quick. I was looking up things about selfishness, and I heard a guy yesterday on a reel. He talked a long time about somebody's relationship, but he was saying that this is what I got out of it: that everything ends, even you being selfish, wanting your significant other to yourself and all that, locked up in the room with the air, whatever.
That's Tyrone. That's Tyrone.
Even that, everything ends. If we would start to think about everything ends. So the guy was talking because this young man and his fiance broke up with him. They had been dating for 4 years, and she broke up with him. And he was distraught, wondering why it ended. And the bottom line is everything ends, good and bad. If you guys were locked up in a room for 30 days and something happened to her and she died, that ended. If she decided that she didn't want to stay in there with you for 30 days, that ended. If we could wrap our minds around that everything good or bad comes to an end, we don't think like that. We really don't. We want things to last forever. We want things to be our way. That's a form of selfishness. But in reality, that's who we are. We want it, but we got to live in a world where, it's everything ends.
Like in the words of Gorilla, at the end of the day's gonna end.
What's that's a gorilla? What? Yeah. So everybody that goes to funerals and cries, they're selfish.
Oh gosh. Hey, don't say that, because I passed out.
No. They just cry. That's emotional. That they're not saying, everybody that goes to a funeral is not saying, I wish they stayed here. Do you know that? Everybody's not saying that. Some people go to a funeral and they don't go and say, oh, I'm so glad they died. But if that person had been sick for a long time and they were suffering, some people go to the funeral to say goodbye because they feel like the person's in a better place. So that's what I'm saying. Everything in this conversation to me says it's the shades of what we feel. Mm-hmm. It's degrees to selfishness, degrees to what people call us, degrees to what we think we're doing. When we say what we want, it's not necessarily a bad thing. That was one of my questions. Is being selfish bad? Is that bad? Is it hurting somebody?
It depends. If you're being selfish for your mental state or for your health or your well-being, I say no, because people will take advantage of you. And like Will said, he's selfish on financially. I get that, because when people ask to borrow money, they're not realizing you moving things around to help them. But when you need your money back, it's an issue. Like, look, I move stuff around to help you. Mm-hmm. But you're being selfish not to pay me my money back when you know that I told you I need my money. Because, hey, I'm helping you. So that's being selfish of you not to pay me back. So I get what we're meant by being selfish financially. But when Tyrone mentioned people going to a funeral, now a lot of us have lost somebody in our lives, and I'm one of them. I was selfish because I was like, we were robbed. I want my mama back, not realizing what she was going through. But again, I think you're so caught up in emotions, you don't realize the pain that individual was going through. But it's selfish for us because we're like, no, don't leave me. I want you here. And the same thing with relationships. You know, you're not looking at the fact that y'all fighting like cats and dogs.
Right.
But you want this person here because guess what? I'm selfish because I want my woman with me or my man with me. Not realizing that I'm miserable in a relationship.
No matter what.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's being selfish. If you know the party is not happy, why not let them go?
It's hard. It's hard for people to let go.
So I guess what we're saying, there is no standard definition that we could judge ourselves by.
No, it's not.
To make a determination whether we are now. I understand that we may have selfish moments, like what you said, Kim. I want my mama back. You know, she was gone too soon or whatever. They taken too soon. You know, that's a selfish moment. After that moment passes, you don't be like that for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? So that
I think the problem is that some people do. I think that's what goes into the mental and the emotional states. That's what starts to mess up people. That's where kids who are living in a household with parents who are like that get things from them, and they pass it on. I think selfishness has its time in our lives, and it shouldn't dominate our lives, because if we never do anything for anybody else, we're hindering a whole lot of stuff. We're hindering growth in our families and everything. You know, we gotta. I mean, but there are people, I believe, that are really selfish and ain't helping nobody else. Do you believe that that's happening?
Oh yes, I'm sure it is. You know,
they're not human. They're not human.
But now I know that's not me. You see what I'm saying? And so the fact that that's not me, based on that definition of selfishness, I'm not selfish. I may have selfish moments.
Okay.
Overall, the general me is not selfish because I'm concerned about other people.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
That's what I said. All of us seem to be.
All of us are, because we're here.
Right. We're here.
You know what I'm saying? And so overall, I guess the answer is there has to be a standard definition for the things that we want to check ourselves by. There has to be a standard definition for it. We can't make it up ourselves, you know, and then we just have to go by it. It's almost just like the word of God. You know what I'm saying? You can't make it up for yourself.
Yeah.
Whatever the word is, it's the word. You got to go by it. Either you go by it or you throw it away and say, I ain't doing that. And then when you do that, we know who you are. We know what you are.
Well, you have the Google, the AIs, and the chat GPTs and the website to define selfish. But again, that doesn't mean that that's you individually. And do we have a right to defend ourselves when people call us selfish? Like, give me an example.
Okay.
Who are you to tell me that I'm selfish?
Your friend.
And you never disagree with your friend, right?
Your friends can tell you, hey,
your friends are always right.
No, they're not.
Right.
Because
but a good friend will tell you that.
They will give you their opinion.
A hating friend will also tell you that too.
What? What'd you say, Will?
I said a hating friend will also tell you that too.
A hating friend.
Yeah.
But we know the difference though.
Do you
Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't.
Do you really? Can
we know
a hating friend?
We are very intuitive beings. We know when a nigga ain't right. We know. We might not say nothing, but we know.
So we see the red flags and think it's a circus, huh?
No, we know. we just don't say nothing. We go about our business and we just wait for the obvious thing to present itself to say, see, I knew it. Yep, see. But we know when if a person is presenting themselves to be your friend and they say you're selfish, they can't become your enemy automatically because you don't agree.
No. No,
you have to then what? You have to look at it and say, damn, was she right? Was he right about me?
But sometimes they're not right either, though.
Right.
But what about when they are?
I mean, sometimes they will be. That's why we concluded, like you said earlier, we have selfish moments. Sometimes they are right. Sometimes, and even then, though, I mean, we're human, and even then, me and you, we go back and forth, and sometimes you can be right. And what do I say to you?
I don't care.
You're right.
No, she don't say you're right. Nope. She say, I don't care if you're right. I don't care.
And then I say, okay, I'm through talking to you. Okay, all right.
Exactly.
So you're being selfish because you're not being honest.
Whatever. I'm having a selfish moment.
But does that make you a selfish person?
No, that's what you said earlier. No, we're not. At the end of the day, you're right. I don't think we are selfish. We have selfish moments. I think everybody does. I do, and then there's the people who are overboard in that. That's always somebody who, they're more selfish than anybody else. Sometimes you cut them loose because they just, everything is about them. When you're talking to your friend and your friend interjects, you got a story, they interject, and then they never hear your story because now their story took over. We had those friends.
I was just about to say something to that effect. I have a family member. Who is this? Trina? No. Trina lying.
Trina, get off our podcast. Get off our podcast with this.
What she means by no, though? What she means by no? What is she saying?
It just came up, so I'm thinking based on the conversation that we're having, as far as I guess we were talking about a friend being able to tell you whether you're selfish or not.
Oh, okay.
So, but still, even if you're having a selfish moment, if somebody say that you're selfish, does that mean that you just brush it off and say, oh, no, that's not what's happening. I'm emotional because my significant other passed or whatever, or in that kind of situation, or if you're in a situation where you just having a conversation with a person about life, and then they haul off and say, you're selfish as hell. Nah, I mean, do we now? First thing we do is we have to know who we dealing with, right?
Right.
Who said that?
Right.
And if the person that said that is somebody that I consider a friend or a loved one or something to that effect, then I have to take a step back and check myself.
Right.
Do a checkup and say, or even ask a question. What do you mean I'm selfish?
Right. Because checking yourself doesn't mean you agree with them that you're selfish, though. Right.
Right.
Yeah, you might, if you care about what that friend says and means to you, you won't get upset and like I do, you won't get upset. You just kind of check yourself. But I mean, sometimes, me, I get off, I come back and I'll tell you, even if you were right, we have the moments where we like, today I don't want to hear that. Today I'm in this mode right here. I feel this and I don't want to hear that. But it's still a moment. You have to know who you're dealing with, like you said, and know that that's not them all the time. But sometimes people call you selfish, and you know that you weren't selfish. You stand your ground and let them feel what they feel. I mean, sometimes you got to agree to disagree. They walk away feeling what they feel. You walk away feeling what you know, because you could tell if you were, like you evaluated yourself. You could tell if you were really wrong. You know that. So if you walk away knowing you're wrong and still act like you weren't, then that's on you still.
So let me ask you guys this. In the news, we've seen several people, guys, kill their whole family, turn around and kill themselves. Do you feel suicide, or when you murder suicide, is a selfish move?
Most definitely. Heck yeah. Definitely. It's definitely selfish, because that person, first of all, based on Brenda's definition. Well, not Brenda's definition, but I mean
Google's definition.
Yeah.
Definition you came up with, just based on that definition. That person, when they did that, they wasn't thinking about nobody but themselves.
So that was
they
selfish.
didn't care about how the people that may have some kind of relationship with the people that they were killing. Right. They didn't care about that. They wasn't thinking about none of that. They weren't thinking about who might miss them. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They didn't give a damn.
Yeah, now, how it affected everybody. Right. They didn't care.
Now some people can say, well, that person was in pain.
Or mental health. It
was a mental breakdown of schizophrenia, whatever. Right. That's a different situation. If a person has mental illness, then the mental illness is what's what's driving the car. The mental illness is behind the wheel, and so whatever.
What if that was Will? What if that was Will when he wanted to have the girl, to himself?
That's what he said. Bunker down, my loved one, bunker down. And Will, I'm being selfish.
She tried to leave, and then Will say, no.
Don't paint that narrative, because that's not true, people. That's not.
No, I know, Will. I know you would never do that.
But I mean, in that kind of situation, again, that's a mental breakdown somewhere.
Is it? Or that's selfish love? Is he being selfish?
Yeah, I mean,
because some of them may not be. Well, we'll call it mental after the fact, but some of them be angry and not necessarily mental. They be angry and they don't want to lose that person, and they say to themselves, "If I can't have her, nobody will." I don't know if that's. I mean, we could call that mental after the fact.
I keep hearing a narrative here. We keep saying men, and I think it's people, period. I don't think it's all, singular towards men. I think it goes.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
2 examples that was in the news lately, and those were.
Yeah, I heard some examples of other sex as well. So I listen to the news too. So
okay.
Yeah, well, when the last time you heard that it was a lady killed the man first? I'm sorry. Let's not go there. Let's stay focused.
It's all about selfishness. So the bottom line is selfish love, selfish everything. And it's like, yeah, we're in that age where we're all selfish. We have our selfish
our thing was about the world. Has the world really come to this?
Yes.
Like it's selfishness all over.
The whole world is selfish as hell.
But the Bible said that before the end of time, men will be lovers of themselves. When I was younger, I thought that meant that they were gay men. I thought they were gay, lovers of themselves. But it was talking about selfishness. It was talking about they love themselves so much. And we're seeing that in this day and time, because when I talk about us as people, like when Will says that we need to embrace some of the stuff that Trump is doing, because it gives us an opportunity to do things for ourselves. When we think of that, and we got black billionaires all over the world, and they're not like coming together. We're not really getting that together, even though we have an opportunity to do that. To help each other. We're not. So I mean, we're just still living in a selfish society. The billionaires are keeping their money. I mean, I don't know.
Well, that's a whole different conversation, because when we talk about billionaires, we got to talk about how they came up with their money, because they could be billionaires with white money. That's probably why they don't want to help black people. I'm
still talking about that. If they still billionaires, I'm still that goes with this subject that selfishness, or what you're saying, that they can't help,
right?
Because of where they got their money from.
Some people might have
that's a thing.
Right. Oh heck yeah!
Oh my God!
Every black billionaire has a white trillionaire over him.
Yep.
Everyone.
Follow the money. Follow the money.
They were made billionaires. They didn't just.
Okay, so does that mean that we can't look to that that scenario at all? Is that what they're saying?
It may be some Harriet Tubmans out there that might be hitting you on the Underground Railroad, but they ain't hitting you up front. You know.
Let me drop this. Let me drop this. This might blow y'all wig back.
Dad,
see, Brenda, have you ever heard the scenario? If you throw a rock and the only person that hollers the one that it hit.
That's all right, because I'm throwing a few rocks. You keep on messing with me. I ain't got no shame in my game. Go ahead.
Do you all know that Diddy was about to go on? He was trying to bring a bunch of millionaires and billionaires together to produce a distribution network.
I didn't hear that.
Oh yeah, he was all on. I mean, I still got a video of him. I wish I could bring it up so y'all can.
Were these black people or no?
Black, yes.
Hip hop.
That was for good for us or what? Okay.
Liquor distribution. Liquor distribution.
Oh, you said liquor or liquor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because see, the white people were trying to push him out.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. I heard that. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And he wanted to get his own distribution. And then all his dirty laundry came out after that.
Okay.
Who put it out? You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So this is what I think this is what Will was saying, is that when these black billionaires, when they make their billions, they can't come back and help us. Because when you try to do that, that's when the people, you find out that you're still a nigga. Remember Jay-Z song, Still Nigga?
Yeah.
He realized that there's only so far you can go with helping your people.
Yeah.
Now, I believe that there's a way to do some underground funding, backdoor stuff. You know, the mafia, they do it all the time.
Every day.
A way to help people without anybody else knowing that's what you're doing.
Without messing up their money.
Right.
But again,
it's gotta be, y'all. It's gotta be.
Hey, but you know, to Ty's point, Jay-Z, that album that he came with, Still Nigga, that album gave us free game. Like he said, I'm giving you free game for $9.99 because that whole album is teaching us some stuff if you really listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
No.
But I mean, that's a reality. A lot of people don't know that reality, so we call them Uncle Toms.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
And they're being selfish.
Right, or they're being selfish to that effect. And
because I'm hearing you guys now.
They probably are selfish because they begin to experience some stuff. Now I'm experiencing some stuff, and my wife, she's even experiencing it now. Mm-hmm. It's a reality when you try to be successful as a black person, and you have people that say that they're your friends, and you have people that say that they love you, and you trying to be successful and you need support. You know, just support such as, like you were saying earlier, Brenda, tune into my podcast. You know, what is an hour going to take away from you? 30 minutes. What is that going to take away from you?
You play it in the background while you're still doing other stuff.
But we can't get our friends. We can't get our loved ones. We can't get even our associates to support us in certain things. They do in something. They do. I'm not saying they don't.
For nonsense, right? They'll buy you a drink. But in my case, I use myself for example. I wrote a book. $50. And it's so affordable that not even my friends, I get more support from outside people that I don't even know than from my friends and family. You know,
I bought your book. I bought it.
No, Brenda, I'm not pointing. The rock got thrown and you got hit again.
No, I didn't get hit because I actually bought the book.
No, I'm just using that as an example. I'm not making it about me.
I know, man. I'm just messing with you, man. I'm messing with you.
Exactly. But see, and then what happens is black people get fed up and they go to the other side because white people will treat you better. Or so it looks like they treat you better. Right. It looks like it, you know. And so when you begin to do that and you're trying to be successful, you're trying to leave some kind of legacy for your children and your grandchildren, this and that and another, and you can't get support from black people, then you find a white person will come in and scoop you up and put some money behind you, and now all of a sudden you becoming successful. You going to LA and New York and all over the place with your book and this and another, and now your family and your friends, they got their hand out.
Or you acting different, or you being selfish.
You're selfish.
You see what I'm saying? That's not selfish. You see, if you're not being selfish because you're not supporting people that don't support you.
Right.
You don't agree, Brenda? You don't agree?
Oh no, I'm just, I don't know. I think I'm stuck. I'm stuck on the
She
fact
got hit
that
too many times by them rocks. She dazed out.
No, the guaranteed support equal guaranteed success too. That's what people need to realize too.
Yes.
You know, it don't cost nothing to support nobody, and that no cost support equals 100% success for the other person. You know.
right. I mean, I guess I got hit with when I talked about the black billionaires. I mean, and I have heard before about their monies, but we see them. It seems that we see them spending money however they want. So you know, me, a person on the outside, would think that I see them spending money however they want. Buying, who was that just bought up the boxing guy, I think, or some who just bought up, they showed him on TV, he bought a whole bunch of buildings, 62 million. Yeah. Worth of buildings. I mean, that's a profit. That's the thing that's going to profit him and leave legacy for his family, I guess. But I'm just thinking, and that's good. But I mean, is this, y'all think somebody's over him too, kind of handling his stuff? I don't know.
Oh, most definitely. Hell yeah.
That kind of stops me for a moment. Only a moment though, because I just keep, this is the podcast for change, and I'm telling y'all, this ain't no joke to me. I'm looking to believe that there's got to be some change. Whatever we talk about from now on out needs to, like, at the end of something, it needs to hit home. When y'all talk this stuff, when you say like Will bought a book, you know, I mean, I know what you're talking about. I do party favors and wedding invitations and things like that. I got a following, and then I have some people that be close to me who, you know, I see them, you know, going, and you know, and it's okay because maybe they have other friends who do the same thing. But when you know that you're in a spot where you support and then you don't get the support back, I'm telling y'all, it ain't gonna stop me though. It's not gonna stop me. All I'm gonna say is, hey, you're lost. You're lost.
You have a marketing team, and hey, that can set you up real good.
Yes, and it shouldn't stop you. But let me say this, because I believe, Brenda, because see, this is what reality does. It puts us, it paints a picture of no hope.
Yeah.
It's like, it paints that picture. You know,
like we're doing this for nothing.
Yes.
It's not going nowhere.
Let me show you something though. I'm gonna just share a situation that happened to me today. This guy that sings for the Shy-Lights, right? He called me up and said he wanted me to put some music to a song that he has, right? He came on my house Monday. He gave me the concept, the idea. He sang for me, and I started creating some music for him, right? Today, he texted me, hey, how far did you get? I mean, I'm gonna give me a sample. Let me see what you got. And so on my thing on my computer, my studio thing, I tried to download the song so that I could send it to him, right? So he could hear it. But I owed them some money. I paid the money that I owed them, but the system, for some reason, didn't recognize I paid them. They took the money out my bank account now.
Wow.
The money came out my account, but the software, for some reason, didn't recognize that I had paid. So now the guy, he looking for something, you know, because he paid me some money to do this, right?
Oh, wow.
And so he looking for something that, like, you know, he don't want to look at me as like I'm some nigga trying to get away with his money.
Right.
So now I'm stressed out. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm like, oh my God, you messing with my business and this and another. Now, every time I tried to download the song, it kept sending me to the page where you purchase the software. And then they had a little deal where you can rent the software for $15 a month. Like the software costs $150, but you can rent it for $15 a month. And then after 10 months, you own the software. Mm-hmm. You don't have to pay no more, right? That's what I did. And so now I'm thinking that, because I did the cheap version, they won't let me download the song. So now I'm thinking I got to go in my bank account and pay $150 just so I can download this song to give it to this guy so he won't think I'm trying to get over him, right? This is the mentality of a person, which I am, who is impatient. I want stuff to happen right now. I want, you know what I'm saying? And if I run into a stumbling block, I'm not patient enough to wait for it to work itself out. It might take a day or two to work itself out.
Right. You could have told the guy that,
Because of the guy. And you don't know how hard it was for me not to pay $150 to get that software so that I can get it to the guy.
That was desperation.
Desperation, right. But I didn't. And maybe like 4 or 5 hours later, I discovered that the problem was in the software, I had to sign in in order to activate it, and I hadn't signed in. Once I signed in, the damn thing started working, right?
So your impatience was your problem.
That was after 5-6 hours. I'm thinking about, I got to get this to this dude. He keep texting me and calling me, and I'm ignoring his calls.
Oh my God.
So I guess this is my what we calling it? My thought, closing thought is that in everything that we do, even in defining ourselves as whether we are selfish or not, there has to be some form of, or what would I call it? There has to be a standard we go by. It has to be a standard. We constantly hear that patience is a virtue, right? But we don't practice what we preach. I believe God is trying to teach me patience because I've never had it, never in my life. I've always tried to. Everything has to move like that for me. I want it. You see what I'm saying? And I'm realizing that you're going to get the things that you want in life. You just have to be patient with it. Like my radio station. I know y'all know about my radio station, right?
You got 1 minute. 1 minute.
She threw a rock, Tyrone. She threw a rock.
I'm being patient.
Closing thoughts.
I'm being patient. See how patient I am?
No, that was me being patient.
Is that right? See how she redefined.
I was being patient with you.
Dig. She redefined throwing a dig as being patient.
Oh, Lord.
Man, we're just a brilliant species, boy. I swear, we smart as hell. But I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna just say, patience is a virtue.
Yes.
Okay. Who's next?
You got the floor. Go ahead. I'm choking.
Okay, my closing thought is
you got 60 seconds.
We must find balance. So as always, not to neglect others. In this selfish thing, we have to find balance. We have to take care of ourselves, and we have to remember that we are here to help others to be better and not selfish also. That's my closing thought.
All right.
I don't necessarily see anything wrong with being selfish. I think being selfish keeps you focused on the things that you need to complete and obtain for yourself. in order to be the best person that you can be. So I don't necessarily see an issue with being selfish.
And for me, I'm with riding Brenda's coattail. If you're being selfish, you need to balance it out by being humble.
Amen.
So that's my closing argument. You're selfish, balance it out by being humble.
All right.
Like
y'all get it? They ain't like us. They ain't like us.
I like that.
Gotta be humble.
All right, guys. Thank you all for being here. This is another episode of the Transformation Institute's podcast for change. And as usual, we are thinking for a change. Until next week, y'all.
Peace.
All right. Peace out.
Thanks for supporting our podcast. We look forward to seeing you next Saturday. Until then, strive for a peaceful mind. Your activity will reflect that peace.